friends, I am Molly West, the Sensible Stitcher. It is the beginning of May. It's not the beginning of May, it's the beginning of September. And I am gonna do my fall WIP parade. This is when my kids have started back to school, and so I've traditionally done my WIP parades in the fall. Today is a bit of an exception. Everyone is home. So if you hear noise in the background, I apologize. It's a bit busy Saturday at our house. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. The last time I saw you all was mid-May, and I was doing Mirabilia with Lisa, crossed by Floss. And I did my halfway point, and then I did not come back at the end of May, and we had a busy summer. So this is the first opportunity I've had to come back. I'm gonna start with my Mirabilias so that I can show you how much progress I made from last year to this year. Everything that I show, I'm gonna go back to my last WIP parade, and hopefully I can insert a picture of everything so that you can see the progress. So let's get started. These are in no particular order. Nothing about this is. Okay, this one is called Sleeping Princess. And I'll insert a before picture. And I'm making pretty slow progress on this. That's okay. Here's where I am now. Oh, that's the back. This is where I am now, and I am working on the bottom left-hand corner of the princess's bed and working my way up. So I've made some progress, but not a ton. It hasn't been a focus of mine, but it is really bright and beautiful, and I enjoy pulling it out when I do. The second WIP is Madonna of the Garden. And I believe I started this one either at the very end of last year or the beginning of this year. So actually, no, it won't be on my last WIP parade. I started it at New Year, and my last WIP parade was last fall. So this is all new progress. And I have worked in the bottom pair areas, and most recently I brought some of this green up, kind of worked my way up this direction. So there it is. And this is a beautiful chart. I do think it's a little bit difficult to find. I love it. Hopefully I can power through it so I can pass this stash to you guys. The next one I have is Ashley's Roses. This one reminds me of my youngest daughter. And hopefully I can put in a before picture, and here's where I am currently. And I'm still up in the floral area. I've brought the border over, and I've put in more pink stitches since last year. This piece is beautiful. So that is fun. Just kind of continue chipping away on that. This piece is, oh my stars, I have not told you any fabric names. I'll insert them. This piece, I believe, is called like Princess Elena. Here's the cover picture. And I started at this point, and I've worked my way kind of this direction. Oh no, I'm sorry. I believe where am I? Okay, I've started at this point, I've started at the halfway point just because of the way the pages are, and I'm working myself this direction. And I should have a before picture from last year. This one is on 32 count lavender Lugana. And this is where I am now. Let's see, I'll put it in the bottom. It's beautiful. The colors are so pretty. So pretty. This piece is, oh, Snow Angels. Oh, Giggles in the Snow, sorry. And I am stitching this on, picture this plus 32 count petals. And this was a new start this year. That's the back. I didn't bring my glasses in here. But this is how far I've gotten on this piece. Oh, I didn't show you a before picture. I think most people have seen this. I am working on the boy. And I'm up in kind of the hat in this snow area. And I am stitching this for my son. And then my last is actually a Nora Corbett, the only Nora Corbett I have going right now. And she is called the Rain Queen. And I've only pulled out 2 colors on her, but she's moving pretty quickly. Let's see. It just looks like a turquoise blob at this point. But this is where she is this year. And I might set her aside to work on her a little bit more. Since the bulk of her dress is that turquoise color, I'm kind of wondering how close I am to getting to a finish. So we'll see. I might set her in a possible finish by the end of the calendar year, not the school year. I'm gonna make a new pile on this side. Okay. I am going to pull out some of the things that I might work on during Sampler September. Okay, so some of the samplers that I'm currently working on and may or may not pull out during Sampler September. The first one, I don't have much work done on this, but it's so pretty. It is by Reflet de Soie, and I'm gonna put the name where you can read it because I cannot pronounce it. And I am starting in this corner. And all I have done so far on this is a little bit of border in the first bird. And I have a very, very long ways to go. This is on 36 count antique white. So hopefully can get some work done on this guy this month. That would be fun. I had a new start on September 1st for Sampler September. And this is called the Rose Motif Sampler, and it's a JBW Designs. It's so pretty. I am stitching this on 32 count antique white Lugana, and I'm using Weeks Dye Works Turkish Red. And I started this, what, yesterday, the day before, and this is how much I have in, just 1 rose on the top. And that's it. Okay, I have put in this, oh my goodness, I'm gonna hold it up this way. Hester Van Dorn, it is sticking to the vinyl. It's a Carriage House Samplings. And I did not work on this piece during the year, except I think one time. I am stitching it on, let's see, 40 count Legacy. And I am using Gentle Arts Soot. And this is, get this going the right direction. This is how far I've gotten on it. Soot is like a dark gray with some variegation. And this year I have not gotten a lot of work done on it, but I will still put in a before and after because I would like to put some stitches in on this during Sampler September. It's a beautiful piece. I didn't pull it out much this year. It was not a focus. Next up is Hannah Longstreth. Again, not much work on this piece, and that's okay. You know, I have a lot of big pieces. It is by Queenstown Sampler, and I'm doing this on 36 count antique white with all the called for NPIs. I also bought Elizabeth Rowland by the Chester County collection, which I'd like to eventually stitch because I feel like they're very complementary of each other. So pretty. But currently I am still working on this third motif right here. So this is where I am this year. These first few are pieces that I didn't get much work done on in 2022, but hopefully they'll be getting a little bit more attention this upcoming year. We'll see. I have a different strategy moving into this next year, so we'll see how that works for me. And it's not like they're going anywhere. I can work on them whenever. Next up, Praiseworthy Stitches, Simple Gifts Christmas. And I am stitching this on a 36 count even weave that I coffee and tea dyed myself, and the threads that I'm using are Pine Needles by Classic Colorworks. Let's see what I've got here. Razzleberry by Classic Colorworks. Oh, those are the two primary colors. And then I've got the gold in here. What's this? Maybe like Ye Old Gold or something. Let's take a look. Ye Old Gold by Classic Colorworks. And I'll put in a before and after of this one. The most recent time I worked on it, I just worked over here. I just put in maybe a length or two of thread. Every single one of my WIPs got at least a length of thread. I made sure about a week and a half ago that I touched every single one of my WIPs to see if there was anything that I wanted to retire, just UFO, and there was, so. And that's okay. All right, what do we have? Oh gosh, okay, Cooper by Kathy Barrett. I love this piece so much. I have got to stitch on it more. I've only put in one length of thread this entire year, and I think it was in the lettering. I have got to work on this. I'm gonna make this a priority during Sampler September. I just think it is so beautiful. Set it down there with that Nora Corbett. Okie doke, what's next? Oh, Ann Thomas. she got one length of thread. And fortunately, the first few you're seeing are the ones that I just made sure that I wanted to hang on to and carry over for another year. This poor gal only got a length of thread, I think. Maybe two. But she's staying on my WIP list. Yeah, I think one length of thread. I think I added some black. I am in the body of the big bird, and this is such a beautiful chart. I know that I will stitch it. I just haven't prioritized it, but you know, no time like the present. Okay. This design is from For My Friends, Blackbird Designs. It's out of this book, and let me find the correct page. I believe the name of it is just Love One Another. It is called Love One Another, and this is what the finished project should look like. And I did get some stitching done on this guy. And it is in a Q-snap. This one is on 36 count antique white. I have finished this motif. I've worked on the lettering, and maybe a little bit over here, but I did get some stitching done on this one. This one is my Spanish Rose sampler by Hello from Liz Matthews. I think I'd like to prioritize this one a little bit during sampler September. I'm really close to like a finish on one or two things, and I may move this one up to like a travel piece at that point. I am stitching this on 40 count alabaster. And I haven't gotten just a ton done, but I did put some stitches into this year. And I think this would be a good one to prioritize for next year as a finish. And I changed thread colors on that. I just used my own conversion from what I had on hand. Okay. Oh, I've made a lot of progress on this, guys. This is Alita Palpin, Reflet de Soie, and I am stitching this on 36 count light mocha, and I've made a lot of progress on this. I have changed I have changed every single thread color to make mine a little bit less spring looking and a whole lot more kind of autumnal. And this is where I am. Let's see. I would say 50 or 60% of the way finished with this. And it is looking so good. I'm really happy with this. I am really, really happy with this one. I would love to get this finished, not by the end of the calendar year, but by the time I have my next WIP parade. I would love for this to be a finish. So we'll see if I can push it there or not. It's not huge, but it's not small either. It's 255 by 257. So certainly not one of my biggest WIPs by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not a small for sure. So put this down with the ones I want to work on right away. Okay, what other samplers do I have in here? Oh, that's not really a sampler. Set that aside. It's my current travel piece. Okay, next up is Consider the Lilies. Heartstring samplery, and I am stitching this on 36 count Winter Moon, which I think is such a pretty color. It's just, it's kind of a creamy color. And since the last time I showed this, I'm going to back up so that I can fit them in a little bit more side by side. I have been working on the Trying to see what I'm showing you guys. Yeah, I have stitched in some of the flowers across the top. So those are coming in and looking so pretty. And I've been stitching in every now and then some of the lettering. Just slow and steady. I don't pick it up very often, and when I do, I typically will like knock out 2 or 3 letters or a flower. That's about it. But it's another big one, and I'm not in any hurry on that, guys. So just continuing to pick away at it. Okay, the next one is so beautiful. Again, a very long-term project for me. I have there's no rush on this one. Charlotte Mills by Fox and Rabbit. And all I've done this year is add just a tiny bit to the border. I am stitching this, let me see if I can find my sticker, on 40 count light mocha. And let's see, I mean, I think I brought the border over further this way, but I'm still just bringing the border down. So pretty, so big. It is 264 by 328, and as I mentioned, I'm on no timeline. I am just enjoying the stitch. Okay, this is Virtue by Long Dog Sampler, and I will insert a color picture of what it should look like when it's finished. I'm using 28 count even weave, and I'm using all the called for DMCs. It is a Long Dog Sampler, and this is, I'm gonna back up again. Some of them are just big. This is where I am this year, and I'll put in a before picture so that you can see the progress that I've made. And I have made some progress on this guy this year. I've already finished its companion piece, which was called Wisdom. So it'll be so nice to get it done. And I had a kind of a date in mind to get it finished, and I have just decided that when it's finished. I do put stitches on it with some regularity, and that's fine. The next one is a new start. So y'all have not seen this. I started this, oh goodness, I want to say in maybe late July. I think is when I started that. Okay, and it is, what is this called? Baby in a Basket, and it is by Marilyn Levitt, and this is what it will look like. My mother-in-law selected this piece as a baby sampler for her first ever great-grandchild. So I am stitching it, and I have finished all of the top, and I have finished the entire basket. The baby is due in December, so this is the only time that this will be in my WIP parade. I have the blanket, the baby, 2 small birds, and then the birth information here, and it will be ready. I feel like I've gotten a huge start on this. I am off by 1 stitch, and I made it work. And I don't think anyone's going to inspect it, so it's fine. It's off by 1 stitch, and that's okay. I am just moving on ahead. And then I only have 1 more sampler to show you. And it is, oh, I think this one's kind of a fan favorite. It is GGR Brigid Power, and I've gotten some work done on this one since last year. Not quite as much progress as I would have liked. I went guns a-blazing for a long time, guys. I was working on this like every other weekend. And I've slowed down, and I think the reason is because I finally got to this area kind of midway down, and there's so much over one. So I have said in other Flosstube videos that if you wanted to stitch from here up and just have that gorgeous bouquet, I think that would be a really, really wise thing to do. I am stitching this on 28 count Moonglow Lugana. I am stitching it with the called for blended with an overdyed. So I pulled all the called for, I believe it's DMC. I pulled all of the called for DMC, and I'm using one, because it is on 28 count, I'm using one strand of the called for DMC, and then I found a variegated overdyed cotton that I felt like was very complementary to the, like if it was a pink, I made sure that the variegated was pretty with that pink, that same color was in the variegation someplace. And this is how far I've gotten on this. And I still love this. I still do pull it out. And I'll put in a before and after from last year to this year. Oh, it's looking so pretty. Sometimes I forget how gorgeous it is when I'm stitching it because I'm so up close to it. Okay, that was all of my samplers. I'm gonna grab my other projects and we can look at those. So this is my last group. I had my Miras, I had my samplers, and this is my last kind of miscellaneous group of current WIPs. The first one I'll show you has been my travel piece, and so I've gotten quite a bit of work done on this. It is a Brenda Gervais. It is Lady Liberty, and it's on 36 count flax linen. Whoops, okay, so this is what it looks like. And I have changed it quite drastically. The skirt is not this color. I went with a color much more similar to the skirt, to the shirt, kind of that top. And I made the woman a person of color. I used wool in the hair, espresso bean by, let's see, what did I use here? Wool espresso bean by Gentle Arts. And for the skin, I used 841 and so yeah, it looks different. And, oh gosh, got a dangler. I try not to leave danglers, but that happens on travel pieces. So here we are, I'm about halfway through her skirt, and I think I have done I've done a lot since you saw this last, and I'm getting very close to a finish. Her skirt will come kind of out this direction, almost to these leaves, and then come back this way. And I have finished the border. I need to stitch this. There are some white stars along the top that are very hard to see right now for some reason. Let me put something behind it. It might make it easier to see the white, because in person you can see them. Oh yeah, there they are. Okay. So there are more kind of doodads and whatnots kind of sprinkled in, so I'm still missing those, and I'm missing either 2 or 3 leaves. And that's it, guys. I have gotten so much done on this. So she is definitely, she will be finished by the end of 2022 for sure. This one won't carry over. I take her with me everywhere. And that skirt is ideal fill-in stitching. It just doesn't get better. Okay, what's next? Oh, this is my Sarah Giramani Christmas nativity. So pretty. I need to work on, I'd like to, so many WIPs, so little time. What can I say? The most recent time I pulled this out, I put some stitches in on the geese right next to the barn. I'm gonna fold this over so I can show you close up what I'm talking about. There's a little goose going in right here. That was the most recent length of thread I've put in. But this is where we are this fall, and so hopefully I can have a before and after picture. I'm not sure how much I've gotten done during the calendar year, or during the last 12 months, but we'll see. It's beautiful and I love it. So I'm just kind of continuing on with this one. I have 2 other of her designs that I am chomping at the bit to start, but I really want to finish this one first. So, you know, there's only one way to, to do that, and that's to spend a little more time with it. Oh, here he is. You know him, you love him. He is Hipster Joe. It's a Panna kit from, excuse me one second. This is a Panna kit that I ordered from 123 Stitch. He is fabulous. I am stitching him on kit everything. And I've made some progress on him this year too. The most recent times I've worked on him, I've worked in the scarf. And I've worked on some dark colors in the scarf, so it's gonna be a little harder to tell. The most recent times I was way out in this area, but it's a lot of dark colors in there. Let me try that again. There we go. All right, so hopefully I can get us side by side. Oh, he is so stinking cute. This is the only WIP my husband asks me about. He's like, how's that cow coming? And for good reason. He is precious. Okay, what else? Harriet Tubman. I've gotten a lot of progress on this, guys. I am in the process of making some decisions about the called for cry neck. I've put in one length and I'm thinking about pulling it out and just doing something else. And it's also, the cry neck that I have put in so far is mostly half stitches, so just excuse the stitching on it. Sorry. Okay, but this is how far I've gotten on her. So let's do, I wish this was blank. Okay, there, that's so much better. Okay. This is how much progress I have gotten on her. I am getting really, really excited about this. As soon as I have her portrait finished, the internal bit of her portrait, I will have some of the most amazing fill-in stitching to do, because I'll have that background, and just once I get the circle stitched in around her, I will have the background to stitch in, and then this flower on the side, even though it looks like quite a doozy, it looks like it might be really good kind of travel stitching too, because it looks pretty repetitive. I still have all of these words to get in, but I love this. I'm feeling, I find myself constantly wanting to pull this out, which is great. I mean, that's how you should feel about your WIPs. I just constantly want to pull her out and work on her some more. So anyways, I've made great progress on that piece, and I am looking forward to a finish on her. I don't know if I'll have her done by December, but that would be awesome. She's definitely a contender for that. Okay, this is a bit like the one the piece, the Spanish sampler from Hello from Liz Matthews, that if I would prioritize it, I could knock it out pretty quickly. I think it's so pretty, and it's just not that huge. This is by Filigram, and it is the cranberry plant, and it's so pretty. Those colors are so wild. I think it would be so cute in like a powder room. Anyway. And this is on, oh, I'm so sorry. Harriet Tubman was on a 30 count mystery linen. I don't know what it was. It was a piece of linen that I bought from an online store, and it was mislabeled. It was supposed to be 40 count, and like 2 pieces of linen thread just goes perfectly through it. So I love the piece of linen. I'm not returning that. That was such a happy mistake. And this is how far I am on the cranberry plant. And I am stitching this on a piece of, let me see if I can tell by looking at it. Looks like 32 count antique white, which is often my fallback piece. Yeah, I think this is 32 count antique white. And the most recent time I worked on it, I stitched on that frog. It's gonna be great. Love it. Okay, now this one, I'm not sure if I had already started this. Actually, I don't think that I had started this during my last WIP parade. So this might be a new start. This is Nature's Piece by Carriage House Samplings. So I guess I've got 2 of their pieces underway right now. And it's so pretty. And it is on 40 count even weave that was white, and I just coffee and tea dyed it myself. Let's see if I can back it up a little bit. It's very evenly dyed. There's not much variegation in it or anything. And this is how far I've gotten. The most recent 2 times I've worked on it, one of them I started on this deer, one of them I just put in a few extra leaves up here. I'm still missing some leaves from this tree. But it's cute, and I enjoy stitching on it when I pull it out. And I have no rush on that piece. Let's see. What's this? Oh. Okay, this was one that I thought was going to end up in a UFO pile. I thought for sure, because I didn't work on it during the last 12 months, that I was going to give up on it. And then I was like, just put in a length of thread and see what you think. And it is Little House Needleworks Old West. And I am stitching it on 32 count over 1. And I don't know what got into me to think that that was a good idea. But y'all, it is so adorable. It's not going anywhere. I put in a length of thread. I don't care if I put in 1 length of thread every year. I'm not getting rid of this little piece. It's just too cute. And all I worked on this time was this little sign that was pointing the way for the rider. I'm just gonna keep on keeping on. It is so cute, and I would say I'm maybe like 50% of the way there, so I'm not giving up on it. It's not a priority, but it's so stinking cute that I'm just gonna keep on. I don't have very many that are teeny tiny like that. I have a few, but not many. Okay. This one is, what is this? Oh, Polly. Polly, the Neglected Bird. This is by the Traveling Stitcher. And this one I was also a little on the fence about, put in a length of thread and decided I still very much like Polly. And I am stitching her on, this looks like, okay, it just says Weigard. That's helpful, isn't it? It's linen, it's not even weave. And this poor bird, she's got the beginnings of a head, y'all. And that's it. this is how far I've gotten on Polly. Kim, the Contented Stitcher, has finished hers. And so if you'd like to see what she will look like, you could go over there. Or come back for a visit in about 8 years. Hang in there, Polly. Your day will come. All right. So this piece is so beautiful, and I was going gangbusters on it. It is on, I think, dark cobblestone. Let's see, 32 count dark cobblestone Lugana, and it is modern folk embroidery. Just gonna pull it out. Ave Maria. And this piece was my travel stitching for a while. I don't know why I rotated, but I guess at some point I could rotate back. I am using a length, not a length, I am using sulky thread on this. And I am, what you're seeing, actually it's pretty easy to tell, is this is the head, the halo, and the wing. The most recent time I worked on it was in the wing area. And so it's beautiful, and I'll continue working on it. I haven't prioritized it too much. I did for a while, but you know how we do. We kind of go through little phases. So pretty. And I am using sulky 1082. I don't know how those people do it. I'm not helpful. That didn't work. Next up is Birds of a Feather. And I believe this is the summer season. Look at her. I haven't even gotten to her face yet. Y'all, I pulled this out. I was like, well, let me make sure I really want to stitch on this. I pulled it out and I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. I just have not given it much work. I put in a little bit of water, and that's it. She's a beauty. She deserves better than what I've offered. But I'll get back to her. Okay, almost at the end, friends. Let's see, I've got, oh, whoa, hey, what is this? Oh, this is a little dimensions kit with some little ornaments. I saw Dina from Half Stitch Cross Stitch doing this, and I thought, I can stitch an ornament too. So I'm working on the one that has a little church in it. Isn't that cute? That one. And the most recent time I worked on it, I added that sort of purple to the skyline. And it's sweet. One of my, I think it might be my only full coverage that I'm carrying forward. Okay, Bygone Stitches, One Nation. This is a relatively new start, and this was a travel piece for a while. And it's a big one. And this is where I am on that. So pretty. I don't think I'll have a before picture. I didn't start it very long ago. And this one's a doozy. Let me see the stitch count here. 400 by 210. So that one might take me a little bit of time. guys, and we're finished. We've done it. Oh, I love this piece so much. Forest of Sumatra by Ink Circles. I am stitching this on tea-dyed Monaco, and the color I'm using is Week Dye Works Collards. And this is where I am this year. Isn't it pretty? Oh, it's coming right along, guys. So pretty. The most recent time I worked on this, I put in that tiny little motif. Okay, so remember how I just showed you the Old West on 32 count and said I don't have very many, that I'm stitching over one on a tiny count? This one is also over one on 28 count. So I guess I have two pieces that I'm doing that way. Oh, so, so, so pretty. I absolutely love it. And then my last one, and something I really want to pull out soon, is the Nordic Heart by Modern Folk Embroidery. Isn't it pretty? I'm stitching this on 32 count Stormy Night. Beautiful. And this is where I am on this. I've personalized the bottom. Let's see, I'll pull it down like that. And I have no idea how much work I've gotten done on it in the last year. You'll see when I put side by sides. And that's it. That's my entire WIP parade, guys. We did it. You guys have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.